Less than an hour's drive northwest to the bustling Johannesburg CBD lies the cradle of humankind. It's an oasis of peace and tranquility, with a myriad of different outdoor adventures and sports to keep one occupied. Every winter since 2013, the Kloofzicht Lodge has been holding the annual winter fly fishing competition in their tranquil dams. The man behind it all is Wayne Sinclair from Sundowner Adventures.
Kloofzicht Winter Fly Fishing Competition. It's a competition where we have built up to 75 different competitors, and they basically come out and fish from 7 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, mainly just to see how many trout they could catch, as well as there's a species competition where they then target some of the other species like bass and carp, so that it actually has a nice, well-rounded activity. It's the 8th year that we are running it, so it's got a good history, which is obviously great for the cradle of humankind, which is the area in, as well as one of the leading competitions at the moment, which is actually run in Gauteng.
There's a long and rich tradition of fly fishing in the Gauteng region, but most often the focus is on recreational fishing. The competitive age brought with it heightened interest in the event. There were 66 men and 7 women in the competition. So who exactly was allowed to take part?
The competition, it's an open competition. Although we do allow day visitors at Kloofzicht, it's something that's organised and managed very carefully. We don't actually have memberships. So what happens with the competition, we often get a mixture of guests who regularly fish here, as well as other guests that obviously want to come out for the day and actually compete, because with the prizes like 3 nights on the Zambezi, hot air ballooning, the tackle and stuff, it's people want to come and they want to target, and there's always fish stocked a couple of days beforehand, which normally means that the fishing is often pretty good as well.
For many generations, fly fishermen and women have had to go to the Mpumalanga region to get their fix. The proximity to the Tshwane and Gauteng metropolitan areas makes Kloofzicht the ideal venue for the competition. And they have everything one needs for a really great experience.
So Kloofzicht, we've got 4 dams that we have that we normally fish on. For the trout competition, we fish in the main trout dam, which is Kloofzicht Lake. Then there's a smaller trout dam, which is called Mulberry, and then Bass Dam, which is for the competition full of trout. We basically use those 3 because 75 to 76 people, we want to distribute everybody so they're not all on top of each other, but at the same time, have enough water for everybody to work on.
And it wasn't just trout they were after. The fly fishermen were casting and targeting many different species stocked in the Kloofzicht dams.
We always stock the Kloofzicht main dam with brown trout, as well as rainbow trout, which are normally quite big. We stock them from about 1.2 kgs to about 3.5 kilograms. Then there's also some bass and some carp. Then in Mulberry, that's mainly rainbow trout. And then there's bass and carp and catfish in there. And then Bass Dam will be a case of also now trout with bass and catfish, of which basically most of them are alien species, but because it's controlled, they stay in the dams, whereas the river section, which is another section we've got, has actually got lovely yellowfish, which is an indigenous species.
The essence of fishing is the peace and quiet associated with the sport. It gives one the opportunity to reload in solitude after a stressful week, perhaps. And the catching of a fish is often incidental. Well, not so in the winter fly fishing competition at Kloofzicht Lodge. Let's find out from one of the competitors how it went for her.
Well, it's been quite a chilly morning, but it was quite nice. It's been tough fishing, very tough fishing. But I've got 2 bass at least, so did something. But yeah, overall it's been tough. But it's been a beautiful day. It's been a lovely day out here. Even though you don't catch anything, it's still nice to be out here. So, very nice day, yeah.
The competition was like any other sporting contest. It's just that, a contest. So while it may look very peaceful, there's actually a serious tussle going on. And that's not just between the fish and the hook. This means there must be rules and regulations and, of course, referees, or in fly fishing's case, marshals, of which there are 14 on duty.
Well, we pretty much, obviously, we look out for the fish mostly. So barbless hooks are very important when the guys are fishing. Obviously, we put all the fish back. So got to make sure that the guys are fishing legit and doing the right thing. And then in general, just checking what they've caught, marking it down, marking it off. Yeah, just general whereabouts, what's happening. Guys aren't casting into other people's waters and things like that, and just abiding by all the rules and regulations. So, yeah.
Dustin Martin has been fly fishing at Kloofzicht for many years and was back in 2019 to test himself against his fellow anglers and the conditions. So, how did it go for Dustin?
Yeah, well, it was tough. I fish Kloofzicht quite often. So my first beat went quite well. I got 1 or 2 fish. I lost 1 or 2, but progressively got better throughout the day. Middle of the day, it got hot. I was on quite a shallow piece of water, so the fishing was quiet. I needed to get into the deeper water, but I got a nice beat at the end, which had quite nice deep water, and I found the flies that were working, and I capitalized.
A beat refers to the stretch of bank and dam that an angler is allocated to fish from. Needless to say, beats differ all around the same dam. So what challenges did Dustin face, and how did he manage to overcome them?
If you look at the position where my beat was, I've got a railing behind me, I've got bush behind me, I had a tree on the left-hand side of me, I had another tree on the right, I had another contender on just behind that bush, so I had to be careful of that. But I just kept my cast up high at the back, and I got the flies into where the fish were, and I managed to get the hookups that I was looking for.
And Dustin was one of the very best performers in the winter fly fishing competition. As a seasoned fly fisherman, he knows what makes a good venue, and he had nothing but praise for Kloofzicht Lodge.
I fished the competition probably 3 or 4 years in a row. I know the guys from Sundowner, they do a great job here. I'll definitely be fishing here again next year with the team that I had. Everyone enjoys it, the fish are good sized fish. The dams are well stocked, so I'll definitely be back. I was fishing here 2 weekends before just to practice. And yeah, it's a great venue. We love it here, and we love the event.
And all that practice and preparation worked a treat for Dustin. He came away with the top prize of a trip to fish on the mighty Zambezi after catching 9 trout.
I must say, to go to the Zambezi is very special. I've been there before. It is an incredible place, so I really look forward to it. I mean, I did work hard today, but it doesn't seem like I worked hard enough for that prize, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, as I say, I haven't had a tiger fish before on fly, but hopefully it will be a first.
The true art of fly fishing is the casting as well as the placing of the fly in such a manner that it attracts the fish. It takes plenty of patience and peace and quiet. If you have the former, then Kloofzicht and the other Sundowner venues have the latter. Get working at it.